there are some things that I did discover in this book that I didn't know about before. So like, to me, like I knew it was ultimately this. It wasn't, making a punk scene. It was getting you to become like a conservative in some ways. And they were very surprised Maximum Rock and Roll wouldn't take the ad, but that then they did get like positive responses from other people, right? Like people were writing in and they'd go to like shows, not even just punk shows. It says in the book here, they went to like the first time they went out to a show as monks was to like a Grateful Dead show and like talk to people on acid and like, and like got people to got at least like one or two people to like go to the monastery, like that. But then there's like some tidbits, which again, it's not punk at all. Like, for example, he said that James Dobson from Focus on the Family wrote to them and was like, "This is amazing. People are leaving the church and, you're getting them in. What's your trick?" And asked them to do like a radio spot, Focus on the Family. And James Dobson, this is that kind of really kind of horrible American televangelist lunacy. And they did like radio spots for them. So good on Maximum Rock and Roll. You know what I mean? Like this shit should have been marginalized and pushed very far away from the scene. And so, yeah, I mean, that's just kind of ridiculous shit. Right. But it's also kind of, I realized more and more that it is kind of an AstroTurf project from the beginning too. Right. It's not like a DIY. It wasn't him just doing this, right? It was the monastery paying for him to go to Kinko's and to get all the material, put it together, ship it out, all this kind of stuff. This isn't like, him by himself doing it. Of course, they took donations and stuff like that, but it would have been a lot harder to get that stuff out there without the support of the church. And so, yeah, Death to the World had to him a very kind of surprisingly positive response. He kind of goes deeper and deeper into this world of monasticism, which again, not in and of itself a terrible thing. You can do whatever he wants. He goes off to a different monastery, which is in some ways not even, well, it's not, neither of these are monasteries. Still haven't revealed that why yet, but he goes to live like an extremely ascetic life on Spruce Island in Alaska. Where there's, barely there's no infrastructure. It's him and a few other monks out there, like no water, electricity. And this is where he writes his kind of take on Seraphim. He kind of develops on Seraphim Rose's thesis of nihilism and writes a book called Youth of the Apocalypse, which we mentioned, which I guess you read a long time ago.
I didn't read that book. I read a different book that used that title. I think was inspired by Death to the World and that whole scene. Yeah.
Which it's not really a scene. That's the interesting thing. But yeah, I know. I mean, I always kind of thought it was. And, okay, Marler himself said, like, I'm not a writer. Like, it's not a well-written thing. And, it's not. Okay, whatever. It's basically just an angsty tirade against the apocalyptic culture facing Generation X, right? So, like, and it's written in this, like, in that kind of language too, right? So the breaking down of our world is due to one philosophy, one mission that has been victorious over man's freedom of thought since time began. Nihilism. It is a belief that there is no truth. It is like a heartless and gutless machine that presses on, giving birth to destruction, sorrow, pain, and death. It chooses the young for its victims, for it is easy to scar the innocence of youth. It is this machine that controls the spirit of the times and tells us that there is no answer to the question, why, and therefore no reason to live at all. It is this machine of apostasy that has given birth to the youth of today. We are her children. We are the children of nihilism. We are the youth of the apocalypse. Now we are left with a generation that is dying off due to suicide, the last genocide. This genocide can only be stopped by truth. In order to embrace this truth, we must die to this world and be resurrected. This is the unshackling. This is the last true rebellion. Want access to this full episode along with hundreds of hours of other assorted weirdness, subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/tenepod and help us out a little bit.